and that is Mackenzie Lyman, and she's going to speak about unit Facebook pages, and she's from an organization called Velocity, and so she's going to kind of show us how to do that, what's involved, right, Sarah?
Yeah, and Mackenzie is from Velocity. Now, Velocity is the company that AMBA paid to build our new website. So Mackenzie is directly responsible for our new website. So everybody, tell her how awesome it is.
Yeah, and they are very professional nationwide firm.
Yeah.
I want everybody to know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Let me just get my screen sharing set up because I do have a PowerPoint presentation. I'll be able to. There we go. Can everybody see my screen all right?
Yes.
Perfect. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, so my name is Mackenzie Lyman. I have worked with Velocity for 3 years, and we work directly with AMBA to help provide websites, among other things. And so my role is social media manager. I work directly with various associations, with various clients on making sure that their social media is planned out, months, weeks, or days in advance. So I did put together a couple of little bite-sized presentations for how to do a couple basic things with your social media page. And I do want to clarify, this was mentioned a little earlier, that I'm going to be focusing on how to set up a business page. And you'll have to have a personal profile already set up in order to do this. Cool. So how you can benefit from social media. There are quite a few benefits and potential relevancies with starting a social media page, including being able to grow your membership, maintain membership, stay relevant with your members who you are no longer able to see in person, and remaining strong and continuing in with your work as you're unable to check in with people in the same manner that you were before. And on top of that, social media is free, it's easy, and it's effective. Now here I will be going through a couple of step-by-step processes. This first one is how to create a business page. And again, this is different than your personal page. You'll already need to have your personal profile set up. Now on here, you will be able to locate a section on Facebook that says create a business page. Once you select create that business page, you'll be presented with this nice screen. And from here, you'll be able to fill in the blanks and pick various things that are made to represent you and your business as a whole. So step one, to create the page, I did include the link that you can access from your personal profile page. You'll select that link and then click create a business page. You'll select your page name, and here I have just unit name here as a placeholder. And you'll be able to select various categories. Now in this category section, I have already gone through the list. There's quite a few in the list, and I pinpointed the 5 that would be most relevant to retired teacher associations. So I would recommend referring to this list of 5 that I provided rather than scrolling through the entire list to pick out the ones that you'd like. And you're allowed to pick up to 3 to represent yourself. And then from that, you'll go down to the 3rd section where you select a brief description of your page. As you're filling in all of that information, it'll begin to auto-populate off to the right of the page here. You can see where I have unit name here and brief description placed here under the About section. Once you have those 3 points set up, you're going to select Create Page down here, and I've circled that with a nice green circle. And that will refresh your page and take you to a completely new screen. The new screen is all about setting up your images. And here I've set aside the recommended size ratio for those photos and how to get to them. So once you're on this page, you're going to select Add Profile Picture, and you will either use your logo or a photo that represents the organization. You are going to want that to be a square. There is a recommended size of 360 by 360. It can be bigger than that. I do recommend that it's not smaller. And one relatively important thing to point out is that Facebook does crop everything to a circle. So if you have a lot of details out in the corner or the edges, you might want it to have a lot of white space on the edges so that it doesn't cut off any of those corners. And then for the cover photo, I usually recommend a group photo of some sort, board members, for instance, and that recommended size is 720 by 315 pixels. So I do have that size reference in here, and it can be bigger. There are different ways that Facebook crops to make it the right size. So there is experimentation when it comes to that. And here we can see just a placeholder. I added in the MRTA logo and I added in this cover photo, and it'll mock it up for us. So if you put it in there and you decide, oh, you know what, that photo isn't actually what I want to use, you can find a new one before you finalize the page. So once you select your profile photo and your cover photo, you're going to select the Save button. And once you hit save, that's going to finalize your new page. It's going to refresh your entire page, and then you're going to have this nice view that is going to recommend a few things for you to get your page finished. And this is what I refer to as the administrator view, the back end of your Facebook page. And so this is the inner guts, you could say, of your Facebook business page. And it provides many more tools and insights and options that you maybe have never seen on Facebook before. So it can be a little overwhelming at first. So I do recommend taking some time to explore and look around at the new interface that you have to work with. I would recommend creating a username right here. It's one of the first things that Facebook will recommend you do once you finalize your business page. They do have various push notifications pointing you to look at various things once you finish the page. And usernames are important because whenever you're on Facebook, you can go facebook.com/AMBA benefits, and then it'll pull up the AMBA Facebook page, for instance. So you can curate the vanity URL for your page based on what you choose for this username. I also recommend entering all of your business details. You can select your location here. You don't have to put in a location if you choose not to, or your establishment doesn't have a building that you can refer people to. Website, highly recommend. Phone number, also adding in a description, an email if you would like, and then business hours where it's good to reach members of the organization. And the more details that you fill in on your page, the more Facebook will recommend your page to others because you have completed your profile in a way that is appealing to Facebook. Now, once you have your page all set up, you are going to want to populate it, because you start it and then people might come to your page and then they don't see any information. So the next step is to add various posts. So I want to focus on how we can add a post and what types of posts we would like to share and see among users. So you're going to go to Facebook, and when you first open Facebook, it automatically opens up on your profile page. So whenever you're creating a post, it goes to your profile. Now, if you want to post on the unit page, you need to go specifically to the unit page. So we just finished setting up that page, possibly set up that vanity URL. So we want to click on that new URL and create a post from there. And another easy way to do that is once you set up the Facebook profile, you will be able to see the page in your personal settings. It'll be off to the left-hand side, and I should have put a screenshot in of that, and I apologize that I didn't. I'm only just now thinking of it. But whenever you do set up a new page, Facebook adds shortcuts onto your profile that allow you to access it very quickly and easily. Now, whenever you are adding in a new post, you're gonna wanna double check that it's not your profile picture that's showing up as you're typing. For instance, you want it to be the MRTA photo. You want it to be the photo that you set up for your business page so you can differentiate which post it's going to. Cool. And so as far as recommendations for what should you post, I've put together a short list of a few different recommended content, legislative updates, if you have new meeting photos, if there are new videos that have been provided or created for the organization, meeting minutes, various member news, also local relevant news and activities, so far as volunteering, being able to make donations, and then also value-added content, which can be described as resources that are free and useful. They have an objective, they're an informational piece, they're referring to a local event, or they're providing a useful checklist or a calendar. Various things that people can implement into their day-to-day and uplift what it is they're doing with their day. And I also like to point out that there are 3 main reasons for people to join your association. The first being legislative and advocacy reasons. The second being the benefits that being in an association provides. And also third, the social opportunities. And so in focusing on social media a little bit more, we're trying to bridge that gap with those social opportunities that have been a little lost during the pandemic and not being able to see each other face to face quite as much. I have also found that some of the most popular posts are those that are inspirational, funny, or practical. So practical hacks, for instance, or food and recipes, quizzes, travel and adventure. And I also recommend posting regularly, which I have kind of defined as 2 to 3 times a week. And whenever you are posting, making sure that you are going back and engaging with those that responded. You know, if you asked a question in your post, making sure to respond to them or saying thank you for your thoughts and your comments. A quick example of a question to start a conversation might be, you know, what are your thoughts on the governor's mandate, for instance? There we go. And here I have a small graph of the anatomy of a Facebook post. So there are 4 main things that we want to focus on whenever sharing a new piece of content. We want the users to find the post to be fun and interesting or relevant. You know, we want it to be interesting to them. We don't want them to just scroll right past it. We want the image to be eye-catching. Sometimes people will stop for an image before they read the text. So if the image grabs their attention, they're more likely to read that headline that you've put in there. Third, encourage users to engage, and that can be in the form of a question or a phrase, or asking, or asking how users can engage in a different way. And then 4, responding when they do. Now, in order to respond to people on Facebook, we do know that it's important, and not everybody responds in a kind manner at times. So it's also very, very important to respond in a kind way, no matter what has been said. there are many ways to address that on Facebook. For complaints, I do have a few recommendations because that can be intimidating when you get your first negative comment on a post that you thought was just perfect to share. And so one of my recommendations is to reach out directly to that person and respond to them and learn a little bit from them, have a conversation, ask if there is anything you can do to help or correct in any way, or have them, you know, call or email an executive director to discuss further if it's a technical issue. Another way to approach that is to thank them for taking the time to share their thoughts, let them know that their concern has been heard, and that, you know, whatever it is that they are expressing a concern with, that you're listening and you hear them. And sometimes that's really what people want. And then for positive comments also, it's important to acknowledge those that are encouraging us to continue posting on Facebook, because it can get a little discouraging if you put something out there and nobody says anything. And so encouraging with a simple thank you, or you've made my day, or choosing a response with an emoji is also a good approach to go. Now, this slide is a little different. It's how to turn on notifications for your association. I have a recommendation that those that are setting up a new Facebook page for their association, for their unit, follow MRTA in a way that they will be able to, you know, whenever MRTA shares something, you'll be able to repost that item. So it's content that MRTA wrote, and you don't have to rewrite anything that day. You can just share that post. Now, you need to be following MRTA in order to see those posts in the first place, though. So in order to do that, you will have to go into Facebook and search for MRTA. And then from their page, you would, here we go. Yep, you would like their page. And then I have a recommendation that we go to there are these 3 dots, and the hamburger menu is what I call it. You click on those 3 dots, it expands, and it gives you a whole new list. And I'm encouraging everybody to follow MRTA. Whenever you click this follow button right here, it opens up a new screen, and what it changes is the post notifications. So when you're scrolling through your Facebook page, you're going through your news feed, and you get to see, you know, your friend posted about this, AMBA posted about this, and you're just, you know, oh, you see an ad there, you continue scrolling. By changing the post notification here from highlights, which is the general, to standard, what it does is you'll see them more frequently. So if there's a page, you can do this on any page that you follow. If there's a page that you've noticed that you're not seeing their post, you want to see them more often, you can go in and tell Facebook, no, they're my priority. I want to see more of them. And then when you do that, as you're scrolling through Facebook, you log in the first time in the morning, those are going to be the priority as you're scrolling. And it's easier for you to see it on your page and then consequently share it for your unit. And that one does have a couple more steps to it. But I've done it a couple times for a couple different pages, and I'm finding it working. So I'm going to pass that along. And then I do also have this how to share on Facebook, because, you know, this is an article from the CDC, but, you know, AMBA does have various posts that we send out weekly, and a lot of that goes on to MRTA, for instance. And so we really would like that content to just be shared to various pages. And if the units are able to know how to do that and not have to write everything from scratch, then it's just that much easier for everybody to have the same information. Cool. And I do want to take a couple minutes to talk about the AMBA content marketing, which is provided monthly to MRTA. So MRTA does have the various blog articles that AMBA provides monthly. They go directly onto the MRTA website, and then we post it on Facebook a handful of times per week. And so those go out, they're provided monthly, and that's free content and information that all of the units can consequently use. So it's just a really great resource and a great tool that if you see an article that you just know, oh, we're talking about dental health and this is very relevant to my members, let me share this article. And it's content that is continually being produced and being written. So there's never not something to share being provided by AMBA. And then I have provided a small list of resources with various step-by-step instructions, how to get started with a Facebook page, how to create an event on your Facebook page. If you have something important coming up, you're able to set an event and have a calendar date to it. How to create a poll, just a little engagement driver on your page. How to add a logo to a photo. If you have a photo you would like to brand and add on to as the cover photo, for instance. And then I have also added on here various calendar of national days to celebrate if you're looking for a little reason to celebrate in the month. Awesome. Well, that is my presentation, please. I'm going to look in the chat real quick. See, oh, is there a, I've got one comment on here from Vicky. Is there a way to change the name of a unit on Facebook, and can more than one person be attached? Change the unit Facebook page. Yes. So there is a way to change the name of a Facebook page after it's already set up. And it's actually, it used to be a more complicated process, but Facebook updated recently and it has made the process much easier. But that's actually in the back end settings. So yes, there is a way. And can more than one person be on the page? Yes, absolutely. Cool.
Is that all, Mackenzie?
That is. Are there any other questions that I can answer?
Okay, I was going to say, do we have anybody who wants to comment or question?
Well, I had a question that was sent to me only, but it's a good question. They wanted to know if they'll be able to visit Mackenzie's PowerPoint later, and yes, it's in your book. I know they're small, but in your handout, there's all of Mackenzie's slides, but then if you want to see them bigger, you can let me know and I'll send them to you. Sarah Smith, did you see that one, Mackenzie? It says, how do I find the list of people who have liked our page?
I do. And what you can do is you'll actually go to your business page, and on the side, you'll have to scroll down a little bit. I have to look for its specific spot every time I'm looking. But there's a way in the Facebook business page, as you scroll, it says which friends like it and which total amount. Let me hang on to that question and I can put together a little screenshot of where that is and send it out after the fact with a couple of these questions. The administrator can be changed from one person to another, but you have to have the original administrator make those changes. So that's whoever initially sets up the Facebook page is automatically the administrator, and then other people can be added on after.
May I ask, what do you do if the administrator, and this is horrible, but what do you do if the administrator dies and nobody has that power?
I have actually gone through this before. You have to set up a Facebook administrator dispute. It requires a little bit of paperwork and proof of being in charge of the organization or having the rights to the organization. And it also involves going and getting something notarized, but it's a process that I've gone through before.
I would just
We have a
suggest
question.
that instead of having something that like Raytown, for instance, does, is they have an email address that's for the unit president, and that unit president gets, that email address gets passed on through the years. And so that might be a good idea for you guys if you want to set it up the same idea where you have the unit president's Facebook page. You can change it each year, but it's passed on year to year with that same email address that someone else has access to.
Question? Go ahead.
I think a related question that John and I have are related to the username and the website that needs to be filled in. Is this where the username comes in, for instance, back in the presentation that was just there? You're supposed to fill in a username and a website. What should you select a username that, how does that work with the local presidents being the person who handles that?
Let me pull that back up.
Did that make sense? I didn't know what those terms inferred as far as responsibility for the site itself and how to select one that we should use.
Create your username.
Great, so
Well-
here I do have my step-by-step on creating the username, or are you referring to?
Well, like it asked me to put in a specific username. Where do I pick that out of a hat? I don't know what that is, you know, so.
Should
Yes,
that be
yes.
the organization?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Should
for instance, so like right here where you're filling in unit name here,
Yes.
you're, selecting, a name that refers to, whichever unit it is that you occupy.
Okay.
And then for the next step, this create username, there are a few stipulations with it. Like it does, oh, I'm clicking on things and it moved. Okay, there we go. It can only be up to 50 characters long. You do want it to be easy to type, easy to remember. Sometimes the phrase that you want is already taken or it's too long. So with this one, it does require a little bit of work in getting the right phrase. And so I usually recommend, the acronym plus unit.
Thank you. That's very helpful. And then the website?
Oh, and then the website,
Uh-huh.
if you have a website, you would fill in your website there, or if you don't have a website, you could put in MRTA's website.
Okay, so that's what that would, okay, that makes sense. And I have one dilemma. I've been pulling up trying to get MRTA's website on my mobile, on my phone, and I hit click, because I haven't been getting information recently, and I click join, and it says that is not a secure site. Can we remediate? Is this part of the process of helping us to remediate that if we put the MRTA site in the website?
Are you sure you're putting in www.mrta.org?
Well, I searched for it's Missouri
Facebook.
Retired on Facebook. I searched for Missouri Retired Teacher Association, and it comes up, except says join now. So I hit join now, and then it comes up, this is an insecure website. And I've done it a number of times today, and that's been
The Facebook
top.
page.
Yes, uh-huh.
Here, I'm looking right now. I'm on the Facebook page, and you say it's the website that's listed on the Facebook page?
Yeah, so well, that's what I search for, and it comes up as the official site, or it appears to be anyway.
I think I know what it is. I think I know what it is, Mackenzie.
Okay.
I can fix that right now.
Okay.
I know.
Okay, I have a question.
When we switched to our new website, we never made the changeover, I bet.
Okay. Okay, so we should be all right with doing that then.
Yeah, I'll change it right now.
I have a question.
Yes, Phyllis.
Okay, I have already created Atchison Holt MRTA unit Facebook page. My profile picture is my own personal profile picture. How can I change that to a more generic unit profile picture? The cover picture is fine.
Okay.
I'm just using our MRTA banner picture, but the profile picture is me, and I would prefer it to be you know, something to do with our MRTA. And
Okay,
when I try to do that, it keeps telling me I upload something else and it says, well, we're sorry, we can't do that right now or something.
okay, that's interesting. So you're able, you have a profile picture already, but you would like to select a different one.
Because I create, you know, I had to have my personal page
Yes.
and it's using it for the Atchison Holt Murder Unit page too.
Okay. And you're setting up a completely separate business page. You have your profile page, your personal, and then you're setting up a new
Page,
already have it set up.
yes.
Now, it might be, is the photo that you have selected rather small?
Uh,
The
I,
new photo, the one that you have in mind to replace your,
well, it's just a picture I've taken with my phone. It's the same one. It's just not any different than the one that's there.
Okay, because I know sometimes that it could be something to do with the image, if it's the image size, or sometimes it's a little funky with the way images are saved. They aren't uploading properly.
Okay, I'll just keep trying something else.
Yeah, but yeah,
I
that
should
is,
just actually click on my profile picture, and when it comes up to edit it, I should be able to edit it, right?
here, let me look at this. It's always easier to pull up my actual Facebook page and figure things out like this. Because
Okay.
whenever I add on, there we go. Let me share my Google Chrome. Here we go. Okay, so now we're looking at MRTA's Facebook page.
Right.
Okay, so from here, this is all set up. This is what a back end of a business page looks like once it's all set up. So if I go here, I want to update this photo. I'm actually just clicking on this camera button. And I'm clicking edit profile picture. And once I do that, it'll show me past photos that I've uploaded, or it gives me this option to upload a photo. Now, if I click upload photo, then it's just going to open my downloads or my desktop, and then I'm selecting
Right.
there the photo that I would like. Now, I'll just do that for instance. I'm not going to actually upload it on here because I don't want to change that photo for MRTA, but ideally what would happen, you click open and it should automatically populate in there with no problem. If Facebook is giving you an issue, usually it will tell you what the issue is. However, if it's not, I do think that there would be somebody that would be able to look at that image and tell you if something is wrong with it.
Like who?
Well,
Yeah.
maybe you can send it to me, Phyllis, because and maybe, another time we can talk about this, but that's
Okay.
a small, that's a weird
It is. This is
problem.
not a usual issue to be running into. So
No.
It comes up with the camera on the cover
Mm-hmm.
photo just fine.
Okay.
But it doesn't come up with a camera image on the profile. So maybe I've set something up wrong somehow, somewhere.
And whenever you're looking at that page, do you have, is it referring to it as a page and you've got, quite a few of this extra information on the side?
No, I'm not. It comes down. Wait a minute. I'm not seeing all that stuff.
Okay.
Manage page.
Alternatively, you could have set up just a profile. Because this, for instance, is my personal profile, which is
Right.
goes up a little differently than the back end of managing a page.
Okay.
And so those are there are two different ways to set up. Facebook has been cracking down on the difference between a profile and a page, in that they want all of the profiles to be registered users with driver's license, social security, tangible people. And they want the pages to be that hub of community information. So I know Facebook has been doing a couple different things to just differentiate between a page and a profile.
Okay. Just that.
But you have to set up your profile before you can set up a page, right?
Right. So you,
Yeah.
Phyllis,
Yeah.
do you have a Facebook account?
I have a Facebook account
Perfect.
and I have multiple pages.
Good. So
And
you're
we-
from your personal account. So I'm just gonna go to my page. Here's my personal account, and then
Okay.
I go to pages right here. And
Right.
I've got a lot of information. I have 46 pages. That's crazy. That's a lot of pages. However, you go to pages and then you click this button, create new page. And that's how we get to that beginning screen where it's
Right. Okay.
name here. And so from here is how you would set up that initial page, and it being different than a profile than a page. And so these pages, actually, you don't use an email to set them up because they're supposed to be going through your personal profile email. Here, yes, I do want to leave. Oh, that's not the right thing. Continue. So I want to go back to Missouri Retired Teachers and just give you a quick look at what that means. So if I come in here, I'm actually going to page roles. As soon as you set up a page, you have these page roles. And the immediate admin is you, the person who set up the page. And then
Right.
you're able to come in here and assign new page roles. So these people that you assign a new page role, they also have to have a Facebook already. So for instance, I would be looking for whoever my manager is to add. But if they don't have a personal profile, then I can't add them onto the page.
Mackenzie, I'm looking
Because
at what
it's going
Phyllis
through
has set
the-
up, and
the
it's a
u-
group.
Okay. So that's different.
A group is different than a
But
page.
You're right. So I need to go. So I need to go back and set up page.
Yeah.
Yes, and my PowerPoint tries to get to the page, but I'm gonna do a quick demonstration right here. Just from Facebook, you go right here to pages, and then you click create new page. Those two steps, and then you're right where you need to be.
So do I need to delete the whole what I've already set up? The group?
I would leave the group be for now. You can always connect the group to the page and have them work together. But I'm not as familiar with groups. I can look into that a little bit more to give you
Mackenzie, let's don't take everybody's time up with this. Maybe Sarah can help me with this individually. Thank you, though.
Mackenzie, I have a question. If we have not met since actually last March the 13th, can I use, so I don't really have photographs of our unit per se, can I use like a cartoon? I don't know if you can see this. Something like this, or is something that I would find online, just a cartoonish type picture that shows teachers or apples or whatever?
Yeah, absolutely. And I especially think if it's an image that you use regularly, such as in your bulletin or in your email, having that image association, if they recognize that as being part of your unit, then that's definitely recommended.
Okay, thank you.
Eric, did you see the chat about sending everybody our new logo where they can use it?
I'm thinking about the logistics of that.
Can't you send a PDF or some kind of?
Well, any email I send you has the logo on it. All you have to do is right click on it and download it. If I send it to you, that's the same thing.
Oh.
So I don't know how else to tell you that. Like, I don't need to send it to you. You already have it. So
Say it one more time. Say it one more time.
my computer's
If you
freezing
get
up.
an email from
Right
MRTA
click
and
on
the
it.
logo's on it,
Okay, I'm sorry. My computer keeps freezing up, and so I don't know who's talking, what's happening. Every email we send you has our logo on it. You don't ever need me to send it to you. All you do is when you have an email and you see our logo on it, you right click with your mouse, use your index finger, not your middle, this finger, not your index finger, right click on it, and a thing will pop down, and it'll say like save this picture, or you know, anyway, and so you just click on that and you can save the picture to your computer.
okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think I could do that.
Right.
Okay,
So, I mean,
I
you
have,
send it out to you. I don't know how else to make that make sense. I mean, I guess I could, if you wanted as an attachment to an email, I'd have to do that, but I could do that, but I can't send it out to everybody at once, if that makes sense.
okay, Sarah, at some point, I can call you and can you help me
Yeah, so
change my,
next week, let's set up a day.
maybe not next week, I have a grandson next week,
Okay,
but
well, that's fine.
sometime,
Just
and
not
you
this
can
week.
switch me
Yeah.
over from a
Yeah.
group to a page.
Yeah. Anytime later this month.
Question because I have a group that we set up over a year ago, and so we've got people who've joined the group already. So do I need to set up the page as well? I mean, I know you were talking about whether or not that was something that needed to be done.
I think some units, it's just kind of a preference thing. If you prefer a unit versus, I mean, not a unit, a page versus a group. Groups are great because you can allow certain people in, and then you have you can use it for like a planning. To me, a group is more for like your executive committee or your unit leaders, and a page is for anybody who would want to attend your unit meetings.
So I really should do both.
Yes, set up a page.
I would, but that's just me.
Okay.
Right. I see the biggest difference as a page is a public facing entity, whereas a group, you have to be invited to participate.
Right.
Well, we made our group an open group.
Oh,
Okay, but whenever you are searching for things on Facebook, like MRTA unit, blah, 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 it doesn't actually show up on the results. Only the pages do.
Okay.
So it would be good
And
for
then,
those
and
who
then
know of its existence already.
okay.
Can I ask a question?
I'm leaving because my computer's low on.
Can I say something right quick? Hello?
Hello.
Madam President. Hey,
Yes, go right ahead.
this has been great. We're going to end this. We're getting too long here.
Gonna have
Calls,
another prize?
huh?
Gonna
Yes,
have another prize?
Linda, don't worry.
Yes.
There's going to be a prize. I'm not going to let him kick you off yet.
I won't kick you off, but I just want to say that we're here to help you. So let us know, but give us time to do it. This would be a very bad week to ask, but ask us to help on this Facebook stuff because it is important. So the point I want to make is Facebook does no good unless you like it, unless you have people like you. That's the whole purpose of Facebook, is to get a network and connect people. So I'm asking you to like MRTA, number one, and then we will like you back, and then maybe your members will like you, and things will spread, and we'll be able to get information out more effectively. I just know, I've heard anyway, and I've read that about 80% of active teachers have Facebook open on their desks. every day. That's how much Facebook is used. I have also read that senior citizens are on Facebook like over 50%. So Facebook page for your local unit would be a good idea. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Sarah.
All righty. Okay, again, you have to be present to win on this, so speak up if your name is picked. Cap Harrison, and I know he's on here because I saw him, so congratulations, Cap. Cap, we'll be sending you an Amazon gift card for $50, so
yeah,
congratulations.
And I want to say a special thank you to Mackenzie. Thank you, girl. Good to see you. I love your sunflower.